Northwestern State head coach Blaine McCorkle after a 42-10 loss to Lamar. And Coach, you talked about it all week. This was a week to kind of find out what some of the young guys had. And I think when you look kind of in the trenches, you see what a lot of youth can provide.
Yeah, we played a lot of youth today by design that hadn't played all year. So it's not like everybody knows we've had the injuries all year and things like that. But this was by design with 4 to go to put some guys in there and see what they could do in the fight. And the first thing they did was probably put together one of the most impressive offensive drives we've had all year. But unfortunately, it came up with no points. You know, we took the sack and then we missed the field goal, which is very uncharacteristic of Reed. He hits that thing 99 out of 10 times. He just does. I mean, he's that good. So it was disappointing for them not to get points out of it. But the drive they took, the second drive of the game, with 6 true freshmen in there, to march all the way down the field against a really big, tough physical defense. That's pretty encouraging, you know, and they did it throughout the game. You know, every time those guys came in, they gave us a little bit of spark. And then the same thing on defense. You know, started a couple of true freshmen in there for the first time to get true starts, and then played a bunch more as we went. And they played hard, and they did what we asked them to do. We're just desperate for some birthdays. We need to grow up, and we need to grow old. But for those guys to get in there and get in the fight and know what that feels like against a really big physical Lamar team, I'm kind of proud of what they did.
For you guys, the one thing execution-wise you may have wanted a couple of red zone trips where you talked about the missed field goal, then you have a potential momentum-turning fumble. Very next play is an end zone interception. Maybe want those couple back.
Yeah, you do. I mean, really, you know, if we make the field goal, we don't throw the pick down there, you're looking at 21-17 at the half, and then you maybe are looking at a whole different ball game. But those are just things that you can't do. You can't take the sack down there to push the field goal back. You know, you got to save those yards to make an easier kick, and then you got to take care of the ball when you get a chance to take a shot after a sudden change. So things that we'll definitely learn from, things that, you know, our margin is so fine that, you know, we're not at a place where we can overcome those things. So all things you learn from and hopefully you get better from. And then, you know, too, you know, I probably took a couple risks today that maybe I wouldn't have normally, and I'm okay with that because at this point in the season, why not? You know, we go for it with fourth and a few inches, you know, in negative territory. Do we get it? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the tape says. I thought we got it. But you don't get it. You put your defense in a short field. And then, you know, we tried the onside kick coming out of the half because it was there. And we didn't execute the kick. And Evan's been really, really good at practicing that thing. We thought it was a sure thing. So, again, you know, made a decision that put the defense at a short field. But I'll take that. You know, at this point in the year, roll the dice. You know, we don't have anything to lose. You know, we're trying to show our kids how to fight. And, you know, you're not going to win a fight if you don't throw a punch. So we're doing those things to try to throw punches. So I don't regret them, even though it might have put us in a hole. We're trying to build a program here, and a part of building a program is teaching kids how to get in the ring and swing.
Well, you end up having to swing with yet another change at quarterback, and
yeah.
Kareem Cotton, again, one of those guys that kind of gave you a spark.
Yeah, I'm proud of Kareem. Kareem's practiced 1 week of quarterback since the spring because he moved to receiver, and he really bought into playing receiver, and he embraced that move, and he did a really good job at that. And then, you know, with our quarterback situation right now with the injuries and all that stuff, the last week we put him in there, and he took us down the field. You know, he didn't back down from anything, and he played aggressive, and really, really proud of what he did. You know, and some of those things, sometimes new quarterback goes in there that hadn't been practicing much. The snap count sounds a little bit different, so we tried to do some things to help him, but we had a couple bad procedure penalties that hurt us, and that's kind of a product of a new quarterback going in there that hadn't taken a lot of snaps. But he fought. He took us down the field, and, you know, we didn't score a touchdown. Well, we did. We got called back, I guess, and then kicked the field goal. So he took us down for a score, and he moved the ball, and, you know, I was proud of what he did there.
You know, we talked a couple of weeks ago, you know, when the offensive line, it wasn't necessarily just them. The running backs may not have played to the standard. It looked like Zay Davis had a better day in terms of that. Not just the touchdown run, had a couple of big runs, kind of late, good physical runs that haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk, you know, about our offensive line and the struggles they have. But personally, I've probably been as hard on our running back room as anybody the last week because they're a huge part of our protection issues. They're a huge part of, you know, the run game, not just carrying the ball, but what do you do when the ball's not in your hands? And, you know, Zay made a couple of nice plays with the ball in his hands. Jeremiah James got in there and carried the ball a couple times. But when I turn on the film tomorrow morning, I'm going to want to see what they did without the ball because that was as big an issue the last couple of weeks as what they did with the ball. And I got a hunch they did a little bit better. You know, I feel like what I saw in there, they were trying to be physical and put their nose on some people, and I appreciate that. So we'll see what it looks like tomorrow.
Obviously, you'd love to have gone into the bye week with a win, but at this point, with the injuries you've talked about and the way they've mounted, week 10 bye, you'll take it?
Oh, yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. It comes at a good time. We're going to hopefully be able to get a few guys back over the bye. You know, we don't play again for 14 days. And, you know, a lot of times you think, oh, my gosh, you're sitting here 0-9 and you're going into a bye. what's that going to look like? It's going to be awesome. Our kids are going to show up and go to work. They're going to try to get better, and that's what they've done all year. And that's why I'm not disappointed and I'm not hanging my head. We're never going to be satisfied with losses. We're never going to get comfortable in the lost world. But you do have to look at the big picture. Look at where this program was 365 years ago today, and then look at how hard those kids fought today. I'm pretty stinking proud of them, and I know where we're going big picture. And so next week, is not an open date. Next week's preseason. We're going to take a 1 week preseason, and we're going to get ready for a 3-game season. And that's going to give us a chance to continue to look at a lot of young guys and get some older bodies healed up. And, 14 days, we're heading to Hammond, and we're not going down there to do anything other than win a football game in Strawberry Stadium. And I'm excited about it, and our kids will be excited about it, and they'll show up and play just like they have all year.
Coach, as always, thank you for your time.
Thank you.